This commentary is pertaining to more nonsense. Sean Puffy Combs. Suge Knight has decided to weigh in on his opinion pertaining to who, I don't know, who Sean is, or how he became this monster. So please go to my community page to take the polls pertaining to Sean. If he was groomed by the industry execs, or he was already a sadist. I'm going to chop that up before I end this live. And the second part of this live is pertaining to Natalia Grace and the MANS. Where is Natalia now? Is she safe? Is she better? What happened between she and the last adoptive family? I'm going to chop all that up. Two-part live, everybody. Suge Knight, Sean Puffy Combs, and Natalia Grace. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Hello, Skyla. Thank you for joining me. Let's get down to business, everybody. Chris Jailhouse interview with Suge Knight. This is Mr. CUOMO.
Done a little bit of homework and know who you are. Why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you and nobody else getting nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, and I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. And if people think prison is always the answer, I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look...
I'm going to stop right here because we've heard this before from Suge Knight. I don't even understand the start of this conversation, what you're talking about. That's a whole nother story, too. I'm not jumping up and down for a black man or any man to go to prison. Yeah, there's some people that need to go to prison. Yeah, like you. Like you. That's why you're there. And due to your violent history of intimidation, of getting music rights from people, such as Mr. Vanilla Ice, we don't need to go back in time on that incident off a balcony. Your abuse towards women, Michelle A. Hell, I never knew you two dated or had a child together until she did a documentary, a movie, Lifetime movie. See the things you learn about people? Why are you speaking? This is the same man who couldn't tell us who shot Tupac. You did an interview many years ago. Who was it? Barbara Wawa or Miss Sawyer? It was one of the two. And you were asked a direct question. Who shot Tupac? Do you know who shot Tupac? What did you tell her? It's not for me to say. It's not for me to say. So fast forward almost 30 years, you've got so much to say about the entertainment industry. Who shot JR? What Pookie Ray Ray doing? I don't know why anybody would be talking to you. I don't understand. You couldn't tell us nothing about your so-called protege friend who got shot in a car with you in Las Vegas in 1996, September of 1996. But yet you can go on live phone calls, interviews, and talk about everybody else's damn business. Mr. I'm not a snitch, I'm not a rat. Well, if you're not a rat, you're not a snitch, you shouldn't even be talking, period, about anybody. Number one, if that's the street code you follow. Oh, the stipulations of the street life. It's hilarious to me. This I'm not a rat bullshit, I don't talk bullshit, but yet you're sitting here running your mouth about something that's really none of your damn business. Yeah, I'm on one today. What's the purpose of this interview, Mr. CUOMO? This is clout chasing from Suge Knight. That's all this is about.
Look at it. That man has kids. Mm-hmm. And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react or get what he got or do those things or those allegations by himself. Oh. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true, what's not true. only true part about it is videos, conversation, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But more being happy in the crowd and saying, what do people think? That's irrelevant.
So sure.
This is like I heard earlier today when
Oh my God, I heard.
Ray J was talking to TMZ. I got love for Harvey. But I see Charles always got some negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? If I'm in prison, I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping at 5 o'clock, or I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, the fact is,
I can't.
it's not no competition who gonna talk around and talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms that be so positive. It ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is
Go ahead,
you
CUOMO.
can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure. That Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about, and they were about the same thing, and that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody...
So who started the rumor that this is why Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were divorcing? It looked like to me they've been having problems before we even knew anything about the tapes. So what's the truth? Is this just an assumption from the masses? Oh, they're getting a divorce because of what's on Diddy's tapes. I think they were having problems before the Cassie video got released. How about that? Because that's the point. You don't know people. You don't know what they got going on behind closed doors. Ben Affleck has his own demons, and I'm sure she has her own demons as well. He is a known alcoholic, so who's to say he has not been battling substance issues along with relationship issues, his own personal baggage in his relationship with Jennifer Lopez and just his damn self. Has nothing to do with P. Diddy and some tapes. If that's the case, hell, why be with anybody? Let's just keep it real. Why be with anybody if you know you've been on a tape with a man? Come on now. She's been with how many men since P. Diddy? And when she, last year, when Cassie brought the lawsuit, just saying. Everybody's gossiping right now, assuming. Stay focused.
Body knows.
Well, first of all, you got to start with the top. You're starting with the top. Brian Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arrea, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away. You take Jimmy Iovine. They told me at Universal and Interscope, said, you know what? You can't deal with artists that gets in trouble. Your artist gets in trouble, they talk crazy.
This call and your telephone number monitored and recorded.
Let's keep going,
They speak about
I can't.
what they speak about what they see. Now I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if you wipe the shit off his shoes, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
Who cares what somebody else has been doing? When it's their turn for somebody to bring forward the truth about them, then we'll talk about them. That's just the way it goes. People kill me with that shit. Oh, such and such has been doing it. You know, we see this all the time when people are doing wrong. You always want to talk about what somebody else is doing. Well, we're not talking about them today. We're talking about what you're doing today. It's just the way it is. You can't get a pass because somebody else got a pass. That's not how it works. Because just like a lawyer was saying the other day, each jurisdiction works differently. 50 states with different laws in each state, each jurisdiction. And I'm going to throw this out here because this is very important. This lawyer said, you can have the same charge, same scenario. Let's say in Kentucky, a guy does something, then a guy does something here in Tennessee, and they are eerily similar. It does not mean each will get the same sentence. We know this. We've seen this happen so many times with different types of crimes, whether it be theft, white-collar crimes, RICO acts, whatever. What happens in New York don't happen in Tennessee. You're talking about different judges, different eyewitnesses, different district attorneys, different information, different evidence, and 12 members of a jury. So it can't be the same. That's your assumption. Oh, well, he murdered this person, he should get life. Oh, she murdered somebody, they should get 25 years. Doesn't work that way. Each land gives a different law per the crime. So why compare what happened over here with Puffy versus some shit that happened with somebody else down the street? We're not talking about them. Like I said, when it's their time for the truth to come out, it'll come out. Just like he's throwing out all these people's names right here. That's why I know he's a glorified fucking rat. He's a glorified rat. You want to sit here and talk about, I don't want to talk about nobody going to prison and it ain't a great place, blah, 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 blah. And now you're sitting here talking about all these other people about, you know, CUOMO, what they've been doing. Well, how does CUOMO know what they've been doing? Hell, CUOMO, he's had his own BS not too long ago, his damn self, for somebody to bring forward an allegation against him. Touchy, whatchy. Now he's on this network. I like CUOMO. I don't know what he did, didn't do. Like they say, bring a receipt. But anywho, to sit here on a live call and say, you know what they were doing, Russell Simmons and all these other people. How the fuck does CUOMO know what they've been doing? He's not in their pocket. He's not in their house. See, this is right here is what I'm talking about. Clout chasing. He's clout chasing. Sitting here in prison, like you just said, I can sleep and do what I want for 5 hours, 12 hours, because you locked up. That's why you can sleep for 12 fucking hours. And who's putting money on your books anyway for you to keep calling these people with these damn live stream and phone calls? That's what I like to know. Who's putting money on Suge Knight's books? Please enlighten the queen. Because he has just been a glorified walkie-talkie ever since he got locked up. But once again, can't tell us nothing about who shot Tupac. Can't tell us nothing about that. Keefe D is in jail now for the alleged murder of Tupac. You ain't got nothing to say about that. Oh, I don't wish nothing on him. Is this the same line you said about Keefe D? I don't wish nothing on him. But he allegedly killed your friend. You don't remember seeing him that night? Him and his buddies pulling up beside you and shooting up your car? But now you're locked up. You got something to say about everybody. You're just another version of 50 Cent. Just talk. That's all you two do, both of you. Just talk. Always got something to say about everything. Why don't you take up crocheting or knitting? Since you sleep all damn time. Find something to do with that. Because I'm tired of hearing you talk. Because I just find it strange a man could have lost his life alongside his friend in a damn drive-by shooting. Don't have nothing to say about that murder of their own friend, alleged friend, Tupac. Now you fast forward almost 30 years later, you got something to say about what the hell's going on in the music industry. It's been going on. Sean is a sadist on his own. Nobody put a gun to his head and told him to have these wild parties and after parties and molesting boys and doing all these crazy type behaviors and holding people down and tying them up and drugging them. What the fuck does that have to do with Clive Davis or anybody else? Nobody told you to go out here and do this. Here, let me show you something. I'm going to give you an itinerary of what you should do while you're famous. Now, make sure you put these little these little pills in their drinks to subdue them. And also, oh, do you like men, by the way? Oh, you don't like men? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, just in case, if you like men, this will help also subdue the men so you can sexually assault the men. Do you hear you? This is stupid. This is stupid. We know there's filth in the industry. You know why there's filth? Because people are filthy. That's it. Casting couches, we know all about it. Is it fame driven? Hey, I'm in power. I can do what I want. I can sexually assault people. I can bribe. I can coerce. Probably. Because people get the big head and they think their shit don't stink. So they start throwing around their power. It happens to many famous, wealthy, and also people who have a supervised type position. Okay? The manager at McDonald's, if that's the case, he's a sadist, okay? Come on, let's keep it real. What did I say about Sean? Sean would be doing these things if he was not a famous person.
Been going on for a long time.
Hold on, sure. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is all inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players. That's just a recording from the prison. That's just
ain't nothing wrong with this screen.
Obviously, they do. Sure. Help people
Get your ass
understand
out of
what
here.
tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I want the first choice to be at those preacher parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? The sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody knows.
Well, you just mentioned these other people.
At the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played the joke. Me. And they used to walk in the Insco office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. What do you say? Well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it a sense to hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably would take it a sense that somebody would get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. They used to have these guys.
Oh, now you
They
changed.
used to call it the boiled egg test.
I can't.
They should take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg. They have those guys put their pants down, bend over, and they stick it up their ass. The egg break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second,
But
sure.
you just look.
Sure.
All you got to do
I have never heard of anything like that.
Thank you.
If I haven't heard about it, just assum a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a
I can't
second.
fool
ahead,
this.
sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
Also, have you ever been to any puppy parties?
No.
Hey, Myron.
You sure they had a long time to think about it. But if you haven't been in those butt naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they went on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something. But I wasn't there, but it's proof of
You
it.
hear his mouth?
But at the same time, everybody want to look around.
Did you hear this? See, this is why you shouldn't be talking to Suge Knight. This is a waste of airspace. He gonna tell CUOMO, oh, you paused. What? So what you trying to insinuate? He's been to one of Puffy's parties? Suge Knight, do yourself a favor. Stop talking. You're not talking about anything relevant. You're sitting there coming on this live broadcast as if you are spinning some serious information to the masses, to the public, and you're not. You just sat here and said, I don't want to talk about Bieber and Usher. I don't want to mention their names. Oh, but it was okay to mention Clive Davis and this Irvine guy as if they don't have a reputation. Now, people had their rumors about these people. I don't know anything about it because, like I said, I'm not in the music industry, and I have not been trailing music, hip-hop, and what Pookie Ray Ray been doing in the industry. I don't chase these stories. I either hear it or I don't. So you are a hypocrite right here. You just told on yourself. I don't want to talk about these people, Bieber, Usher, but yet it was okay to talk about Russell Simmons, Irvine, and Clive Davis and throw their name out and tell CUOMO, oh, you know about them. You know what they've been doing. You know what they've been doing. So what are you trying to say? Clive Davis is a homosexual? What are you saying? What are you saying about Mr. Russell? He's a sadist. He's a sexual assaulter. I believe there was an allegation against him recently or a few years back. What do you say? Are you also trying to tell us Russell Simmons is allegedly gay? What are you saying? Or you just intertwine it? Some are gay, some are bisexual, some are sadists. I can't keep up.
Around act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So everybody, you gotta look at it like this. When you see a beautiful woman, when you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life. Elementary school to junior high school to high school, they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. If you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists,
I can't.
they might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth fix and lipsticks and nose fix, all the work done.
Oh, Lord.
Underneath, they still the young and with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at puppy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures.
That's true. I agree with that.
They did everything.
But sure, just because he has plastic surgery.
And matured. He
All I'm
matured.
saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is, but that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about rich people. I'm talking about the different. I'm talking about, okay, let's look at it like this. I look at it real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I.
Oh, he ain't no
I don't care if
whistleblower.
it's Rick Ross. I don't care if it's Jay. I don't care if it's Snoop. I don't care if it's Game. I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him.
You
You're
had
right.
guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective. For people who have done a little bit of homework and know.
Okay. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. That video ended. I'm gonna go to another one. Let me stop and interject. I have to interject just for the copyright claims of content. Oh Lord. You steady keep talking about you don't want to mention nobody's name, but you just called Jay-Z name, Rick Ross. We know who they are, Suge Knight. They're not speaking up. They're not speaking up. Why? Because they're worried about being involved in some escapades with Sean or at his house or on video. They wouldn't be stupid enough to be in a room having sex with somebody any damn way. What fool getting ready to go in somebody else's house and have sex? That's shit you do when you're in your 20s. Don't get Queen started. Now, some of you might rock like that. Grown, and it ain't no Puff Diddy mansion. I'm not a grown-up getting ready to go have sex in somebody else's house. I hope I don't. I don't recommend it, let's just say that. I don't care how many rooms. I don't care how you think it's private. You have your own house. You have access to money to go rent a room or take somebody back to your chalet, your mansion, your whatever. Why would I go to a party? I mean, I'm just trying to visualize this for myself. I'm invited to a party. It's getting late. And what? I'm eyeing somebody and he's eyeing me and then he's like, hey, we got a room back here. You want to go do something? No, I don't. Why do I need to go back in a room in Sean's house or anybody else's house when I can go to my own place? Or we can go, instead of half on a baby, we can go half on a room. Shut up, Queen. Because Queen ain't getting ready to go half on no room. How about that? I'm just saying. The only type of people I can see getting down with this is just some sick, horny-ass folks and sex workers. That's it. Because no sane person with a reputation is getting ready to go in no back-ass room to be having sex with Sean Puffy Combs and nobody else, knowing full well it possibly could be recorded. And you're a fool that went back there. And I'm going to say that. Hell yeah, I'm going to say that. Now, you're dating somebody, you're hooking up with somebody, you may not be thinking there's a recording in the room, there's a hidden camera. It may cross your mind, but you're probably not, you in the heat of the moment, you're going to do your thing. He's wrong for that, taping the people. Why are you taping the people? As I said in my live yesterday, taping people, taping the sexual innuendos, taping probably in bathrooms. He's probably got people, hundreds of videos of people just urinating, sitting on the toilet, taking a shower. Probably got videos of Cassie too when she was in her most private moment in his home. He's nasty. So I want you all to think about that for just a second. All the allegations you have heard, whether you believe them or not, the government has told you they do have tapes, okay? So I want you to think about the fact this man is somebody's father. Let's scratch everything you've heard. But we're going to stick to the evidence revealed, gathered by Homeland Security. We have tapes of people having sex. This woman has come out, Ms. Graves, to tell you she's on one of those tapes. What we would call gang rape, okay? More than one person, that's what it is. Tied up. Now imagine this is somebody's father. I'm gonna let that sit right there. I don't have to say anything else. This is somebody's father. This is a man with children, girl children, boy children. And this is what he would do in his spare time. And then has the nerve after he beat up Cassie, texting her, oh, I don't want to be alone, blah, blah, blah. The police got my house surrounded, blah, blah, blah. All this on top of nonsense. He wasn't thinking about his kids when he beat her up. He wasn't thinking about his kids when he was drugging women and sexually assaulting them, filming them. He wasn't thinking about his kids introducing sex workers into his relationship with Cassie or any other woman. Checkmate. Because he doesn't have respect for himself. Now, you into group sex, orgies, menage a trois, whatever, that is your personal preference. That's your personal business. But when you start talking about using narcotics, drugs, intravenous drugs to keep a person alive so their ass don't pass out, you're on a whole nother level. And that's just facts. That's not innuendos. That's not an assumption. That's not an assertion. That's facts. And now we know they got it on camera. Because where do you think they're getting this from? It ain't just now he said, she said anymore. We've left the he said, she said last year. They got tapes now to verify sexual assault, use of drugs, probably intravenous drugs, and who's administering that? But as somebody was saying to me the other day, well, Queen, they got some other type of drugs you can use, I guess, to keep you from being dehydrated. I don't know nothing about it. I'm not trying to find out. All I'm saying is, this is a man who has children. And he's disrespectful. He's nasty. And I got a feeling, as Suge has said, this goes back to years ago. Yes, it goes back to years ago. The people involved, insecure, and he's insecure as well. They all were ugly ducklings at one point or another. That's everybody. Nobody looks the same as they did in high school and junior high. Just like the girl who was a cheerleader and she was fit and taut and pretty and long hair. Well, she don't look like that anymore at 40, 50. She's possibly overweight, thinning hair, might be out on drugs, on meth. We get it. The point is, as I've said before, when it comes to sadism, groomers usually were sexually assaulted as children. So what you have to ask yourself is, was he sexually assaulted as a child, which led him to this place he's in now? Because you don't wake up at 50-something years old using narcotics, drugging people, filming people in sexual situations. You don't wake up doing that. And he didn't wake up at 40 doing it. He has an appetite for sex. He probably always has. He just perfected it, being wealthy and having the assets to put cameras in every room, hallways, doorways, plants, things like that, hide the camera. He thought his shit didn't stink, that's all. He's like a lot of people. They get the big head. And people get the big head when they're not famous. They're not wealthy. They just toot their own horn. You see it every day with random people. They're rude, they're nasty, they're vile, they're sadists, they're peeping toms, they're groomers, and they work at McDonald's. They work as janitors. They work as truck drivers. They work as school teachers, priests, pastors. That's the point. Nobody's exempt. To be a sadist, that's a choice. We can make up all the thousands of excuses how a person came to be a sadist, but in the end, it's a choice to go out here and sexually assault people, drug people, and also sexually assault children, point blank. And I have a feeling Sean would be doing the same damn thing if he was just a regular old guy working at McDonald's or working for a regular job, an accountant, janitor, school bus driver, transit driver, whatever. He'd be doing the same damn thing. Probably caught. He probably would have a lot of charges of SA. Asking a girl out on a date, then he get her home, and then he's choking her out and doing all this stuff and sexually assaulting her. Scratch all the money, the wealth, the mansions, the cars, the buying of the prostitutes. Just a regular old guy taking the cookie. Checkmate. That's it. Call him a spade a spade. Stop this nonsense. Let's go to the next interview with Mr. CUOMO. Trying to see, not too many of you have voted, but I'm going to go ahead and ask these questions while I'm on my page. Hollywood Reporter says Puffy was fueled by drugs, which led to his alleged sick behavior. 16 votes. 13% says yes. 13% says no. 0% not sure. He was already a sadist, 50%. A and D, which would be yes and already a sadist, 25%. Interesting. Was P. Diddy groomed by music industry execs or already a sadist, 29 votes. He was groomed by the higher-ups, 21%. Already a sadist, 66%. Fame pushed him, 7%. Not sure, 3%. A, B, and C, 3%. Interesting. All right. Let's see. Next News Nation content.
Know who you are. Why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs? For people who have done a little bit of homework.
I think I've played that already. I think they cut the time down because it's got 9 and 7 minutes. Hold on one second, everybody. I think they're the same video. They might have cut some minutes off. Might have been where he cursed. They may have cut that. I think it is. Because I think I already played this one. Hold on.
I've got to share this.
Yeah. They may have cut it. Because, you know, they'll replay the videos.
Hey, I like to say this too real quick. You got a woman that works for you. It's really incredible. You don't find too many people.
I thought you were about to implicate her in the investigation.
Ain't that
I'm
the
just
truth?
glad you're not implicating custody in the investigation, Shane, because I can't take that.
She's not in the investigation.
All right,
What I want to do for her is, I want to, hey, look, I got to do this for her, but I want to turn her on to this clothing line called Girls Monday to Sunday. Girl Monday to Sunday. And I'm definitely going to look out for her, because I buy a lot of people from that place. But look, what I was basically trying to say is this. I respect your show, I respect what you're doing, but
Suge, what the hell are you talking about? Ordering stuff? Who are you ordering stuff for? You locked up. You ordering stuff for your girlfriend in prison? Stop this. See, CUOMO, please do yourself a favor. I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna say this to Banfield too, if you're listening. Stop bringing these people on the show. Just please stop. Just stop this. He's all over the place. This is the behavior of somebody that's like on crack. They're all over the place. They're on 15th Street, 2nd Street, 11th Street. You've already had to redirect him. I'm not talking about that, Suge. Exactly. Why are you trying to... Oh, my goodness. Suge, man, what the hell are you talking about? You gonna try what you talking about? I order stuff all the time from this site. So what you gonna do? Send the lady that worked for his show something to wear? You can't make this shit up.
Most important thing is there's got to be a solution, because this has been going on in the industry for a whole bunch of years, for decades.
Oh my God.
And at the same time, you know, nobody wants it to be true, and it shouldn't have to be true. But if we don't fix it and do something about it, history will constantly
repeat itself. Now, Suge, you said something early on that I want to get clarification for the audience, Suge. You said early on, you can't just look at Diddy in isolation. You said this was done to him. He learned from others, and it was done to him, and then he did to others. To me, that sounds like what I hear when people are talking about abusive situations, you know, hurt people, that someone was sexually abused, they wind up being a perpetrator.
Exactly.
Is that what you're suggesting about Sean Combs, that he was sexually abused and he now sexually abuses?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think he did what was done to him. And like I said, you look at Russell Simmons, you know the truth. Andre Real, you know the truth. Brian Davis, you know the truth. Jimmy Iovine, you know the truth. So there's not certain things that all of a sudden you got this. The industry is a quick business. It's been like that for a long time. And the casting couch is real, but it's for women and men. But far from all that, I think the most important thing is I feel like they should let Puffy tell his truth. I'm quite sure he's going to expose a lot of people. I'm sure he's going to move forward with it. But I don't think it should be a situation like the Epstein thing where they found him hanging from a ceiling in the bed before the truth come out.
Do you believe
I think that truth needs to be...
Do you believe that Diddy is in danger in prison? And do you have advice for him based on what you just said?
Well, the first advice I have, I don't ever want to say he's in danger, and neither should he say that. Because once he gets to the point where they feel he's going to be suicidal to himself, harmful to himself, once they put him on suicide watch, you have the rights to nothing. No socks, no drawers, no T-shirt, no blanket, no sheets. So they can sell as a crazy man. So he definitely don't want to do that. And the other advice I would tell him, you know, maybe he should get on the Jewish diet. Because the kosher meals is way better than the food somebody else is making for you. At least they're going to come hot, they're going to come sealed, and you got to be the one to open them. That's very important.
What about people trying to hurt
go to jail? I mean, one of the things is that I don't care who you are. Prison and jail is a negative environment. Somebody can do something to them and get a name for themselves, they're going to actually do it. Or they can do whatever they feel they got to improve themselves. But we also got to learn. We got to learn from our mistakes. Everything don't have to be a mistake. You got to better yourself. But we all know what we signed up for.
Well, will somebody try to harm him to make a name for themselves? The only person I can see doing this is somebody who's already in prison, in federal holding for a life sentence, so on and so forth, or facing life. They already know they're going to get life or a long sentence, so they don't give a damn. Because what would be the point in unaliving P. Diddy if you have a chance to get your ass out of prison? That's my thought. As far as people being in there, changing, blah, blah, blah. Well, Suge Knight, have you changed? See, I don't believe people, when they're incarcerated, say they've changed. You know why? Because they're not free. And freedom is your test in life. Talk is cheap when you're locked up. Everybody knows this. This is why people get so disappointed when they deal with people who are incarcerated. You hear the story thousands of times over. Oh, he said this, she said this, they hoodwinked me, they used me, I put money on the books, they were talking to other men, women, they got married on me, blah, 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 blah. Because you have to do what you have to do to survive. It's survival of the fittest. That's why they always tell you that prison life is no different than being free on the street. The only difference is you're told what to do and when to get up, and you have limited amount of food. You can't walk around, you know what I'm saying? You can't do things you would do when you're on the outside. Common sense situation. But the game is the same. That's what people don't understand, who have never been to jail, never been to prison, who have never dealt with that type of lifetime windedly, to see that what we do out here is what they're doing in there. They have sex in there. They blackmail. They coerce. They have sexual assault. They have phones. They have TV. They have drugs. Checkmate. If you did not know that, now you know. But the test of life is freedom. That is the true test. What you do while you're free. Locked up don't count. Because when you're locked up, you'll say anything. You have all this free time to think up shit to say and make up. Oh, I like you. I love you. I think about you every day. Then as soon as he get to the street, he ain't thought about you. He free like OJ. Oh, dang. Running around with this one, that one, getting into shit, back breaking the law. Do you understand what I'm saying? It happens all the time. That's why America has the highest recidivism in the world. Say it again, Queen. The world, not United States. The world. We have the highest recidivism in the world of people who are repeat offenders. Whatever their vices are. Theft, sexual assault, connery, whatever. Drug use, drug selling. Old habits die hard. So people say anything when they're locked up. Just as we're listening to this fool here. That's the one thing you're not hearing. Suge Knight saying, I've changed, I'm a different person. He's talking in circles.
In life. So if I signed up to be a football player, I knew I'm gonna get hit and I'm gonna hurt somebody too. So I signed up to be in the music business and the entertainment business. If you fight for right to being a black man, there's certain things you gotta look at for the challenges. If they can't take the money from you, they take you for the money by putting you in prison. That's a fact. In Puffy's situation, he should go and get his time out the way. Not no life sentence. If he can get an extra time, he should jump on it because he had a great run.
Exactly.
I'm in prison right now. I had a great run.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't go mad. I don't wake up mad. I've been locked up for 10 years, and I ain't had a bad day yet. And there's a lot of things we can do to help each other, and it's never too late for help.
Well.
God bless us to have a voice. Let's use our voice. I had told Puppy a while back. I told T.D. Jackson a while back. Come on, collect calls. We can politic. There's one thing for certain, one thing for sure. You're just not going to walk away with one scratch on it.
Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy?
So, Suge, you've talked to Sean Puffy Combs at one point while incarcerated. So you all scratched your animosity. Some people believe that he's the one that put the hit out on Tupac. I don't know what happened, but I just know Keefy D got his ass wrapped up in there some type of way. Keefy D getting cahoots with Sean Puffy Combs, I don't know. Seems kind of far-fetched. But anyway, everybody's entitled to their conspiracy theories. But have you changed? Because you're steady talking around in circles, but I don't hear Suge saying, I have changed. I'm different. I'm better. All I'm hearing is, yeah, I've been here 10 years. Never had a bad day. I've accepted my fate, blah, blah, blah. That's what he needs to do. He had a good run. I had a good run. So that's what most people are going to say to themselves. Well, if you motherfuckers had good runs, why are you in this situation? Exactly. Bill Cosby had a good run. Look at him. Woo! He's out free, but still an old man, can't see. Bad reputation. Can't take it away. You're entitled to believe he did things he did or he didn't. R. Kelly, same thing, locked up. He had a good run. He didn't have to choose what he was doing, low-level P. Diddy shit, but he did. Now, P. Diddy, same thing. Good run. Now you're incarcerated, federal holding, Brooklyn, New York. Why? Because that's where you want to be. Same thing with you. You have always had a big head. big mouth, thought your shit didn't stink, and then you ran over somebody. So boom. Sounds stupid. Had a good run. Yeah. But it wasn't good enough, obviously. Because if it was good enough, you'd be free. You cared enough about yourself, you'd be free. You'd say, I value me. I value my freedom. I'm not getting ready to go out here and pop off and wig out and keep hurting people. Because what is that saying? Hurt people, says Dr. Phil. Yeah, exactly. You must have been hurt too. That's why you out here hurting people. Willing your big power and bald head. And I'm sitting here looking at Suge Knight. He's not a bad looking black man, but his attitude is ugly to me because to me, he's just clout chasing right now. And that's to me the worst person that clout chases. And to me, that's what he's doing. Clout chasing off of all these people's scenarios. For what reason? Because he can. Checkmate.
Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality to time versus what people would do to keep him quiet.
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he's been involved with the FBI and most of his career. It's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He's probably going through a lot of right now because he's probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.
Sure.
They've been having the power of the, yes.
Here we go.
I appreciate your perspective on this. And I just want to get something very clear because if what you're saying is true, and I'm not questioning your credibility. I can't assess it. I don't know. So then he's got people who are the biggest names in the business who help
trying to cut you off. But if any of those people I mentioned don't have no drinks and don't do no followers, you'll find out. I don't want you to be right.
Well, listen. I mean, the job is to ask questions of people in power. They answer how they choose. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find.
You can't get no answers from Suge Knight because he's full of shit. I don't know why you did this interview, CUOMO. Come on now. You hear him saying, well, it's my job to ask questions. But look who you're talking to. You're talking to a man who doesn't have any empathy. And when you get to an age where a person has been known in the street and staying in the street, doing street things, and willing and dealing to stay on top, you want somebody to believe that they're just going to wake up one day and have an aha moment and say, oh, I'm going to change. Now, can a person change? Of course, through Jesus Christ, but that's it. And I don't think Suge and Jesus have been talking. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say that. They ain't had no consultation. Suge is full of himself. He likes himself. To me, he's just another version of Sean. He's just a lighter-skinned black brother. They're the same. They both let their ego run with them. And they use blackmail, coercion, violence to get what they wanted. Checkmate. They're not different. That's why he talks the way he talks, why he's not really trying to say anything bad about Sean, because he knows he's eerily similar to him. Come on with it, Quay. I ain't going to talk about a motherfucker like me. Why am I do that? I ain't going to talk about nobody being down and going to prison. I'm in prison. Stay woke, everybody. Don't you get it? He's not going to say anything bad about Sean Puffy Combs because he is Sean Puffy Combs. He's already where Sean is getting ready to go. Number one. He's already done his dirt in the street like Sean. Number two. He don't really want to be there. Sean don't want to go there. Number three. And he wants to get his ass out eventually, and naturally, Sean knows if he gonna want out of there and don't do a long stint. Number 4. Evenly yoked. I always tell people to pay attention to the content and the words of a person because the words tell the story. I'm not getting ready to talk bad about Sean because I am Sean. I may not have done all the things he has done, but we both have done some dirty shit while we were out here free. And now we're having to pay the consequences. End of story. End of story. When you go into the YouTube queue, there's some upcoming videos pertaining to this debacle with Sean Puffy Combs, the Chris Cuomo project. He's got the full interview pertaining to Suge Knight. Now they're talking about the new book pertaining to P. Diddy's secret from Kim Porter's diary from Law and Crime. That was just uploaded 40 minutes ago. And also Political Influence by Law and Crime Network pertaining to Puff Daddy and I guess the people he has known personally that are in the political arena. It's all messed up. Under this video, Queen has given her a comment. I said, so amazing how Suge couldn't tell Barbara Wawa who shot Tupac, but now all he does is run his mouth from prison about everybody else. Stop the BS and clout chasing. Somebody else says, Clive Davis and many others need to be charged. Oh, here we go with that. Somebody says, this is the happiest I've ever heard Suge. Somebody saying Suge being the voice of reason is crazy. Exactly. Darwin says, once you on suicide watch, there's no shirts, no socks, no shoes, no sheets, except for Epstein's case. Somehow he had the whole entire jail's laundry rooms worth of bed sheets sketch. Well, interesting. Then somebody says, that's so effing true. Why did he have so many sheets? Then somebody else says everything was set up perfectly for his unaliving. Well, they probably gave him sheets because they didn't want nobody to complain and say he was being mistreated. Double-edged sword. He's on suicide watch, but yet he has sheets in his room. I don't know. I wasn't there. Somebody says 2 men you can look at, Clive Davis and Quincy Jones, and one other should mention. I guess that's Mr. Irvine. I don't really care about conspiracy theories and Illuminati and all this shit about the industry feeding people drugs. Drugs is everywhere. We've heard about the casting couch. Once again, that's somebody willing their power, trying to take control. Once again, a sadist. Offering people drugs in the music industry, entertainment industry. Drugs are everywhere. People do it in the street. Well, they're going to do it with famous people. Hey, you want to bump? Hey, you want to hit? Next thing you know, you're taking it, and now you're out there. You're chasing Jason. As we used to say in the street, beam me up, Scotty. That's it. It's the same game. Famous, poor, middle class, wealthy, non-wealthy. You stupid enough to take the drug, more than likely you'll be out here on drugs. So you don't have to be famous to get hooked on narcotics. You don't have to be famous to become an alcoholic. You don't have to be famous to become a gambler. It's what you choose to do. Drugs are everywhere. And yes, it's prevalent in the entertainment business. These people are walking around pretending to have all these wonderful things going on in their life. They got money, they got clout, they got fancy homes, jewelry, this and that, but they're addicts, they're sadists because they're just like everybody else. They're fucked up. And yes, some of them have taken and using their position in the world to become sadists, to be narcissists. I think some of it is fueled by ego. But we can't just blame ego for you wanting to be out here hurting people. Well, I'm famous, I'm well known. Let me go out here and abuse some people. I can get away with this. I'm famous. And many famous people have gotten away with stuff because most people won't file charges against them because they're famous. So it's probably a catch-22. I'll use my fame to do what I want. Mistreat people. Talk to them any kind of way. Talk down to them. You hear this shit all the time about how people treat their staff, their maids, their nannies. They're either sleeping with them or they're abusing them. Not wanting to pay them. Don't want to pay the staff. You hear this 1,000 times over. So it is part ego-driven. And as Suge was saying, a lot of these people were insecure growing up. They were ugly ducklings, so to speak. And like you say, get a little Botox, get a little money, get a little bling bling. Now everybody's looking at you. You could be the most unattractive person, but put a little bling bling and a little Cartier on. Put on your Bill Blass shirt, Gucci pants. Now everybody's looking at you like you're somebody special when you're just an insecure person dressed up like a fucking peacock. Because that's what you have out here in the street. Come on with it, Queen. A bunch of insecure peacocks. Everybody walking around with the shades on and their selfies all blinged out, but they are miserable as fuck. How many times have I said that? Because that's the point. You don't know people. Everybody's not happy. That's an illusion. He's happy, she's happy. Oh, they got everything in the world. What's wrong with them? Why are they doing these stupid things? I don't know. You gotta ask them. Because I said it all the time. Oh, if I had money, I definitely wouldn't be wrapped up in this drama. Hell, I might be wrapped up in some shit my damn self. Because money attracts drama. Let's also mention that. It attracts drama. It attracts chaos, money, fame. It always has. It always will. Because there's always people wanting to hang on a coattail, want to ride on a coattail, want to get something free for nothing. And they also be the same ones to take your ass down. We've seen that, have we not? Same people ride or die with you, be the same ones testifying against you in court. Because there's no loyalty in the street. You can definitely ask the Queen about that. Oh, we could talk about loyalty all day. There's no loyalty out here. That's the reason why it makes no sense to get yourself caught up in doing wrong with people, because somebody's going to tell on you eventually. That you have to tell on yourself. So if you the dope man, the dope dealer, you the defrauder, you got somebody in cahoots with you doing the fraud, eventually the truth is going to come to the light and somebody's going to be testifying in a grand jury and in front of 12 members of the jury. It's just the way it is. All that shit about I love you, I'm your friend. This ain't no Chucky doll type situation. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust anybody. I tell people I didn't get to 53 by accident. I didn't come out of a cabbage patch or a cornfield and rolled up at 50. Been a long journey. And I know people. If I don't know anything else, I know the human spirit. And I know people will smile in your face and pretend to be cool with you and stab you in your damn throat. Not your back, your throat. I'm going to stab you where you can see me stab you. I ain't got to wait till you turn your back. You don't know people. So all these people out here walking around, athletes, entertainers, wealthy people, you know, whatever they're doing to get their wealth, what you need to understand is they put their drawers on the same way you do. They are flawed, they're insecure, they're mean-spirited. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're happy-go-lucky, sometimes they're not. They're human beings. This is why we can't get upset when we hear horrible things about them. Because it's just like us. We have our bad days, we've done some filth, we've done some grime, and there's still people that like us and still fuck with us. It's the same game. It's the same game. Natalia Grace. What is the deal between she and the MANS? She no longer stays with them. What happened in that relationship with she and the MANS family? A biracial couple, white woman, black man with a bunch of kids that took her in last year. One last article I read today says they still speak, she and that woman, Ms. MANS. Don't know how true that is. Did they abuse her, use her to try to get a hold of her disability and any upcoming income by the entertainment industry? Did they see a meal ticket, quick fix to their problems? Also learned something about a GoFundMe page they set up for a trip to Africa or somewhere abroad. Why are you putting up a GoFundMe page so you can go out of town, go overseas? What, trying to piggyback off of being in her life? Oh, we're all going to take a trip. It's a church field trip. It's a mission. We'll take the whole family. Hey, we need your money. I think they used her. That's my public opinion. Do you think that Natalia Grace is mentally disturbed and did evil things in families' homes? 19 votes. 68% of you said yes. 5% says no. 26% of you not sure. 50-50, 0%. Did the man's family adopt Natalia Grace to take advantage of her? 11 votes. 18% yes, no, 64%. Wow. 18% not sure. 11 votes and 64% of you were saying you don't think the man's took advantage of her. And then 68% of you think the girl's disturbed. 19 votes. This ain't good. This ain't good at all. Wow, 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 wow. Once again, prayers to my friend, Mr. John Thomas, his family. Once again, he died in a car crash. Found Monday. Entertainment Tonight is the source, everybody.
So what is CLOUT?
Sorry about that. Woo! Lord have mercy, help me.
Oh, this tweaking. I feel like he's the enemy of the house. If she led to us, we have held her hostage. Made us look like we're the enemy.
The curious case of Natalia Grace, Natalia Speaks, leaving viewers with a shocking cliffhanger.
Natalia stabbing her family in the back over a complete lie.
Season 2 of the docuseries about the adoption scandal of Natalia Grace has officially come to a close. The series follows Natalia, who was accused of posing as a 6-year-old orphan from Ukraine and was subsequently abandoned by her adoptive parents, Michael and Christine Barnett, when she was still a child. This season, Natalia tells her side of the story.
I want you to know how old I am. I want you to know about my past because I want to know too.
Natalia relives some horrors of her childhood.
I've had nightmares about this stuff.
And through a DNA test, proves she was a young girl at the time of her abandonment.
Based off of all the studies and everything being analyzed, you're more closer to 22, which is pretty close to what you think you're almost 20.
This one little piece of paper throws every single lie that the Barnetts has said right into the trash with a match.
In the finale, it seemed things were ending on a positive note, as Natalia came face to face with her adoptive father, Michael, to get some resolution.
Are you sorry? Are you sorry about what she did to me?
I am horrified by what she has done to you. I am sorry I wasn't stronger and didn't stop her.
Michael then asks Natalia for forgiveness.
I'm willing to do it because everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves a time to admit their faults and be forgiven.
I appreciate that.
An unexpected conclusion to their fractured relationship, but the story doesn't end there. Natalia gets legally adopted by Antoine and Cynthia MANS, her legal guardians who took her in after she was abandoned by Michael and Christine.
Being adopted it's an awesome thing. It really is, especially when you find that perfect family.
Yeah, the future looked bright for Natalia until the closing minute of the season. A title card pops up and read, 2 weeks ago, and 6 months after Natalia's adoption, the producers got a shocking phone call. Then, an audio recording of Antoine and Cynthia plays, claiming they've been deceived by Natalia.
If she led to us, we have held her hostage. Made us look like we're the enemy.
Natalia stabbing her family in the back over a complete lie.
She's done other things too. But this was a new low. Natalia does not have emotions for nothing but herself. We're done. We're done with her.
The final title card reads, Natalia's story will continue.
Entertainment Tonight is the source. As you heard with the commentary pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs and Suge Knight giving his commentary to CUOMO, hurt people. Exactly. I said this a lot. That's one of Dr. Phil's famous lines from his Dr. Phil show. Hurt people. So everybody has their own opinion pertaining to Natalia Grace, who she is, what she's about, what she's done. My thing is this. First of all, she didn't ask to be here. Somebody brought her here, wherever she came from. because we don't really have a definitive answer on where she's from, whether she was born in America, born abroad. I believe they've lied on documents pertaining to her adoption down in Miami. I believe those people were just some cutthroat ass people pilfering out babies for profit. So you don't really know what's the truth pertaining to her genetics, where she comes from, who her parents are, because all that plays a role in who she is and how she came to be as an adult. We now learn she's in her 20s, allegedly, from genetic testing. She's put from one place to the other, and that's something people don't understand about adoption, foster care. You can't really expect a person to have an identity when they're moved around a lot as a child. And if you've never moved around a lot as a child, then you wouldn't understand that. Okay? Now, naturally, you can be abused by living in one household your entire life and have PTSD, mental problems, so on and so forth. But when you move around from place to place, you are conforming to a person's way of life. And that's conflicting as time goes by. You stay here 3 years. Now you're over here 4 years. Now you're over here 5 years. You don't even know who you are because you're going from place to place and you're trying to adapt to this person's way of living, their mode of living, the way they think. And now you also have an identity of your own, but you may not be able to perfect that because you've got to be told what to do over here because you're a minor. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of people grow up confused because they're going in all these different houses with all these different attitudes, dispositions, religious, political backgrounds. That's confusing. One day you're over here, they're Catholic. Then you go over here, they're Jehovah's Witness. Then you go over here, they're Mormons. How in the hell can you adjust mentally? Going from house to house with different religions, different political backgrounds, different ideologies. Somebody's a drinker, somebody's a sadist, somebody's nice, but this one's coveting, this one's aiding the abuse. You're going to be confused. And I think that's what has happened to Natalia Grace. It's all this shuffling around from place to place. It's tainted her. We heard that she was a highly sexual being. She was doing the same things. Neighbors were telling things she was doing when she got put out on her own, and the mother, the Barnetts, abandoned her. And then you saw how the father acted in all these public interviews. He acts like he's a dope fiend, making all these weird facial gestures and hand movements. That's a sign of somebody that's on something. So then when you look at a person behave like that, you then got to ask yourself, okay, well, how was he acting when he was in the house with her as a child? Checkmate. See, those interviews tell the story. You're all over the place. You're acting erratic. You sit up here having, mental fits like you're having a seizure during the interviews. So then how were you behaving when you were raising this little girl and your own children? Because that's relevant. Possibly the same damn way. All over the place, acting erratic. And that wife of his, she's numb as fuck. And one thing I've learned about a lot of people, and I've heard this from people who have been adopted, a lot of these people are adopting children for show. I'm gonna say that. Same thing with the foster parents. They want to look good in the eye of the community, humanity. Oh, I'm doing something great over here. I'm helping out the system. I'm helping out these poor children. But how many times have we heard horrific stories about children fostered and adopted? Then they give the child back, want to give the baby back, want to give them back to the adoption agency. We've heard this 1,000 times. This is her story. Come get her. We don't want her no more. Something wrong with her. No, it's something wrong with you. She was just a child. So any problems she was having needed to be assessed. Then she had developmental issues, have to wear special shoes. So she already came to the table with problems. And as I said, that's not including what was wrong with her genetically, physically, mentally, her background, where she came from, any type of genetic issues with her parents, don't know if anybody ever used narcotics or drugs. So you got to factor all that in with children, babies, because all that matters down the road. Now you're getting placed with some people that don't want you. Then they handing you over to another family. Then you falling out with them years later. They're saying you're doing this. Then here she is, damn near grown, moving in with these people. The mans, I want to talk to you. Why did you want this woman in the first place? Because she's a woman. You adopted her last year. what was that, June 2023? What did you want with her? Why would you be adopting a grown person? Help me understand. Because it doesn't add up. I'm going to read you an article pertaining to this debacle between Natalia Grace and the MANS. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. Why did the MANS adopt a grown adult? Let's chop it up. We're going to do a little backstory on Natalia. For those who are not familiar with the story, thank you for joining me, everybody. Today is the source. Who is Natalia Grace, the adopted child accused by her parents of being an adult in disguise? One thing is always proven to be true with Natalia's story. Nothing is ever what it seems. This was uploaded the early part of this year, January 5th, 2024. The world is still talking about Natalia Grace, the Ukrainian orphan with a rare dwarfism condition. Grace's legal battle with her former adoptive parents, Christine and Michael Barnett, garnered attention in a riveting docuseries. Now a new Lifetime movie called The Bad Orphan tells a story that, while fictional, bears some resemblance to the case of Natalia Grace. In The Bad Orphan, premiering June 22nd, Betsy Brandt, who was in Breaking Bad, and Mark Taylor, stars adopted parents to an 8-year-old named Gabby Chloe Coco Chapman. The mom is suspicious that Gabby is masquerading as a vulnerable little girl, steered the family into a dark and twisted place. The film states the following story is fictional and does not depict any actual person or event. The plot, however, may be familiar to watchers of January's investigation discovery docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Natalia Speaks, a follow-up to The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, released May 2023. Who is Natalia Grace? 2010, Grace was adopted by an Indiana couple, Michael and Kristen Barnett, who have 3 biological sons. As Michael explained in the first episode of the docuseries, at the time of the adoption, Grace's Ukrainian birth certificate showed her birthday as September 4, 2003, meaning Grace would have been 6 years old. Michael said the family quickly began to suspect that Grace was a fully grown adult pretending to be a child. In the first episode of season 1, he also said that Grace harbored an evil streak wanting to harm their 3 sons. In season 1 of the docuseries, Michael says Grace tried to kill Christine by poisoning her coffee cup and by pulling her into an electric fence. Natalia has denied trying to hurt the Barnetts and maintains that she was a minor at the time of her adoption. In 2019, NBC News obtained court documents that stated hospital records from 2010 approximated Grace's age as 8, while hospital records from 2012 show she was about 11. Very interesting. A dentist who appeared in the docuseries that, based on 2011 x-rays of Natalia, had her age at about 8 or 9. In 2012, the Barnetts successfully changed Grace's birth certificate to reflect a 1989 birth year. They recall in season 2 of the docuseries, they rented an apartment for Grace to live in alone, dropped her off, and moved to Canada. Grace has since been cared for by another Indiana couple, Bishop Antoine and Cynthia Mans. Michael said in the first season of the docuseries that the Mans met Grace when she was living alone and moved into their home 3 days after they met. And right there was their mistake. They should have never taken her in. It's not a good idea. What they should have done was reached out and got her some type of help to some, organizations and agencies. Today.com reached out to attorneys for Natalia Grace, Michael and Kristen Barnett, and also attempted to contact Antoine and Cynthia Mans. None of them replied to a request for comment. Michael and Christine, who are now divorced, were charged with felony neglect of a dependent. In 2022, Michael was acquitted, and in 2023, Kristen's charges were dismissed. In Natalia Speaks, which aired earlier this month, Grace confronts Michael face-to-face, and a DNA test reveals her current age as approximately 22, which would mean she was in fact a child when she was adopted. Now, why were the charges dropped against Kristen in 2023, and in 2022, Michael was acquitted? Because both of them were married and responsible for her. So I don't see how they were not cited for child abuse, child endangerment. because she was a child. And they took her and threw her in an apartment and left her there to fend for herself. This is BS to me. The Barnetts tried to paint me as a big monster, Grace said in the latest installment of the docuseries. I literally lost my childhood. What did Michael and Christine say about Natalia? I can't put into words the everyday abject horror that we had to go through and live with, Michael said of his family's experience with Grace in the 2023 documentary series. In the first season of the docuseries, Michael said he and Christine started doubting Grace's age when, during bath time, they noticed she had body hair. In the same episode, Michael recalled they discovered that she menstruated. Natalia replied in season 2 that the blood was the result of Christine forcing her to use tampons when she was 7. So is that true? She forced the little girl to wear tampons at 7, which if she thought she was 7, but really she was older than that, I don't know. It's very wicked information. 4 months into her adoption, Michael said in the first season of the docuseries, Grace's dark side emerged as she provoked his children by hiding their toys or throwing them into the street, urinating on his youngest son. In the same episode, Michael said Grace jumped out of the family car in public places with the engine running in order to appear as a poor, helpless little girl. What does Natalia Grace say? This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I think I have only 300 pieces together, Grace said in the January Investigation Discovery series. I want you to know how old I am. I want you to know about my past because I want to know too. I want the puzzle to be complete. According to Grace, Michael and Christine borrowed from the plot of the 2009 horror film titled The Orphan, about an adoptee with a dark agenda who turned out to be much older to craft their narrative. And we learned that the movie came out before they got this child in their possession, because the movie came out in 2009, in case you're curious. In season 2 of the docuseries, Grace addressed the Barnetts' claim that they awoke one night to find her standing at the foot of their bed, holding a knife. An impossibility, said Grace, given her poor grip and inability to see over their bed frame. It's a lie, said Grace, adding, I'm an 8-year-old, 37-pound little girl. I never tried to murder anybody. Christine is the real monster, said Grace. Michael is an accomplice to the monster, and I will agree with that. In season 2, Grace also denied trying to poison Christine by pouring a cleaning product in her coffee cup and stating, I want to kill you. She said that Christine had beat her regularly and she forced Grace to spray cleaner inside her cup for a staged scene on camera. Very interesting. 2012, after the Barnetts had Grace committed to a psychiatric facility, a judge legally changed Grace's birth year to 1989. After Michael was acquitted last year, he reached out to Grace with an olive branch. Their first reunion in season 2 of the docuseries was brief and explosive, with Michael storming out after an argument with Grace's now adopted father, Bishop Antoine Mans. In their second meeting, Michael sighed while apologizing to Grace, who said she forgave him. Christine Barnett did not respond to requests for comment from the docuseries through, she called it a highly sensationalized show in a January 4th Facebook post. Christine said on Facebook that Grace was a very much loved and cared for member of our family and called the discipline very minimum and not out of the bounds of normal parenting. Christine added, I have had good and bad days as a mom. There were many days raising 4 children that I depended on the power of coffee to get me through the day. Anyone who has children knows that feeling of going to bed at night hoping you have done the right thing and enough for your children on a daily basis. I'm sure there were plenty of fails and some successes I had as a parent and mom, but I was not abusive to my children. The fact that these false allegations are occurring after a trial with evidence which was dismissed is disturbing, wrote Christine. It's like being assumed guilty after being proven innocent. What do Natalia Grace's new adoptive parents say? In June of 2023, Grace was adopted by an Indiana couple, Antoine and Cynthia Mans, her guardians of approximately 10 years, in an emotional court ceremony filmed in the last episode of the docuseries titled One Door Closes. So it says her guardians of 10 years. So what really happened if they were her guardians for 10 years? That's very bizarre. This is bizarre. Being adopted is an awesome thing, said Grace in the season finale, especially when you find that perfect family. Their happy ending sours, however, according to the docuseries, 6 months after Grace's adoption, the producers received a call from Antoine and Cynthia MANS, as you heard this commentary in the audio I played. Something ain't right with Natalia, Antoine said in a recorded call. This girl is tweaking. I feel like she's the enemy in this house. Enemy in the house. And she said to us, we have held her hostage, made us look like we're the enemy. Cynthia said on the call, a recording of which was played on the finale, Natalie is stabbing her family in the back over a complete lie. So what is the lie and what has she been doing? Because you all didn't elaborate what she was doing before she said you all were holding her hostage. So what was going on in this house with these people? Right here, they say she's done other things too, said Antoine, but this was a new low. Natalia does not have emotions for nothing but herself. We're done. We're done with her, quote unquote. A message on the screen reads, Natalia's story will continue. As Jason Solanas, the president of crime and investigative content at Investigation Discovery, told The Hollywood Reporter, our series was already finished and locked, but we instantly mobilized with our producers to ensure that this shocking development was included in our finale. Our viewers are also invested in Natalia's case. We felt our series needed to reflect the constantly shifting truth of her situation. He added, one thing has always proven to be true with Natalia's story. Nothing is ever what it seems. Today is the source of this information. Thank you all for joining me. Natalia Grace is estimated to be about what, 22 years of age? Was a child when she was adopted by all these participants, so-called lovable people. But as I said, hurt people. And I don't think any of these people had good intentions when adopting her, because that's the whole point of the story, is that it looks good on paper. It looks good to say it out loud. Oh, I adopted a kid. Oh, I adopted a foreign baby. But the point is, who are you as a person, as the adoptee? Because in the end, she was still a child living with all these different people. And she may have had some mental issues. She may have had some not so great ways, negative ways. Some could deem evil. We don't know because we're not there. We're just going by what these people have to say. And a lot of people will say, well, if you get 3 or 4 different people saying the same thing, it must be some truth to it. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because we've seen cases of people raising children. They didn't get along with the child, or the child didn't get along with them. They were deemed evil. The next thing you know, the child goes back into foster care, gets adopted. True story. This little boy gets adopted by a woman, and he goes on to do great in school, goes to college, and all of that. So what happened there? Stay woke. What happened from this foster home to this woman adopting this boy child, and then he turns into a good kid? Didn't get in trouble, didn't break the law. Pay attention. Because everything's about perception. Perception and aversion. My version versus his version, her version. And we've seen this with many people who have adopted children and foster children, that the children seem to behave negatively, wayward, but then they go to another family and the family notices that there's a shift. And it's a shift for the positive, not the negative. But then the children turn out to be good kids and they finish school and they go off to college. So I'm gonna say it again. What's the truth? There's probably some truth to it all. Child may have been wayward over here at this family, but then when they got with another family, the family worked with them, got them the needed help, and then they changed. Because that's the whole point. They're just children. They're not adults. They probably came in the world with baggage, genetically. See, that's what people don't understand about children. They come from somewhere. So they may have came from a schizophrenic mother, schizophrenic father, a father or mother that's on drugs. All those things affect the developmental abilities of a child. And that has to be addressed. You're just assuming because it's a baby, it's a newborn, they are all right. Well, maybe they're not. Because a lot of children who are born to drug-addicted parents, they come here with complications. Now, they're getting older, they're toddlers, and you're starting to see some things visible with the child. Because now they can walk, they can talk, or they can mumble, But genetics is a main factor in our disposition. A lot of children come from drug-addicted families, families with abuse, mental abuse, and sadly that gene is passed on. It's a very interesting phenomenon, but it's true. Because you heard many people say that, oh, his mother was mentally ill. So the next thing you know, you're hearing years later, he's diagnosed with a mental illness. What's the truth to Natalia and her disposition? Is she an evil person? Did she come here evil? Or was she groomed to be evil? Because if you're mistreated at house number 1, you're carrying that baggage to house number 2. Stay woke. Now, house number 2 ain't no better than house number 1. They got their own problems. I think we knew that just from the Barnetts being divorced. And I don't know if this little girl has anything to do with why they got divorced, but I think they had their own personal issues, because I think there was some strife about infidelities between the wife, Christine, and the husband. He cheating or she was cheating. So they had their own problems that didn't have nothing to do with Natalia. Let's keep it real. Now, was she doing things to the children? Doing little evil shit to those boys? I don't know. Not there. But that incident about the fence, my understanding, that was all overblown. You're entitled to your opinion. Then when she moved out on her own, you had neighbors saying negative things about her. She was oversexed. She was making sexual conversations. She was dressing provocatively. You're entitled to believe what you want. The point is, nobody had any right putting a child out to the street in an apartment building in a city on her own to fend for herself. That's stupid. Anything could have happened to her. She's a little person. Anybody could have taken advantage of her. We heard she wasn't eating. She wasn't eating junk food. She's getting public aid. Then they stopped paying the rent. Christine stopped paying the rent on the apartment and didn't give a fuck what happened to her. Who does that to a vulnerable person? And I can't understand why a judge would throw out the charges in each case. One case is thrown out, one case acquitted. The mother acquitted, her charge is thrown out. And then Michael, he's acquitted of child neglect. And he had to see the signs that his wife was mistreating his daughter, this little girl. And the way he acts and behaves, he acts very erratic for an adult male. All his crazy facial expressions and gestures, like I said, he acts like a crackhead. And I won't doubt that he was under the influence of something when he was doing those interviews. That's why I keep trying to tell people, you don't know people. You don't really know what was going on behind these different doors, that this little girl was living with all these different people. And I think at some point, the people probably got tired of taking care of her because it was a job taking care of somebody who has physical disabilities. It costs to take her to the doctor, take her to see physicians, surgeries. That costs. That's not free. So if they're not getting money from the state, the government, you got to pay that out of pocket. Got to pay that out of pocket. So now you got to go back in time and ask any of these people get any money from the government to assist in rearing her, taking care of her. Also, when she went with the MANS, they already had a lot of children. What did you want with her? She was a grown woman. I think they used her to pilfer out and filter out and get money from the public. GoFundMe's, asking for help with a van. So now we're going from a trip to Africa and now a van. Well, nobody told you to lay down and have all them damn children in the first place. You laid down and had those kids before Natalia even came into the picture. So see, they were on the grift. Oh, we need help with a van. Well, both of you should go out and work a job. And you can make a car note for a van. Matter of fact, go get you 2 vans. Go get an SUV and a van. How are 2 people going to make it today with a bunch of kids in their house? How's that possible? And that's what people need to focus on with the MANS. They're full of shit. You knew how many kids you had and the mouths you had to feed before Natalia ever got into your possession. That's a choice to go out here and have a bunch of babies. So you needed a van before Natalia came into the picture. Checkmate. See, Queen recognized game. And I found it strange that these people wanted to adopt her. You want to help her out, take her in for a couple of days, get her on her feet, get her in a place to live, and still be friends with her? That's different. But really, you weren't in no position to take her in because you had too many children yourselves. See, I pay attention. I smelled bullshit as soon as I heard they took her in and they adopted her. Adopted her for what if she's supposed to be an adult? And you already got a house full of kids. What could you offer her? And maybe she realized, I don't want this life. I don't want to be cooped up in a house with a bunch of people. I don't want anybody being over my food stamps, my money. More than likely, she probably was getting a disability check. And my understanding, she didn't see any of that money. Oh, bring it on home, Queen. She didn't see any of that money. So if she didn't see any of that money, she probably didn't see any of the food stamps either. You taking her disability check and funds and doing what the fuck you want with that family, with all them people you trying to feed and house. And you're talking about needing sugar, food, toilet paper, laundry detergent. You see where I'm going with this? Light bill, gas bill, mortgage, rent. It was a grift. Use this kid, take her in, be over all her assets, her monies, anything we can get from the government. And then, now everybody want to talk to her, want to interview her, want to make movies and documentaries about her. That's a paycheck. Stay woke. They saw dollar signs. Oh, we can get some money. We'll be her guardian. That way, if somebody wants to sign a TV deal, pay attention, documentary deal, we're her guardian. The money's going to go straight to us, not her. Anybody paying attention? So whether she was an adult or not, she probably wouldn't see the damn check. They put it in their bank account because they're her legal guardians. So that's why she should have never signed no document to have these people adopt her. Now, maybe she was adopted, well, they said 2023. So that's just a year ago. It's a bad idea. They knew what they were doing. They saw dollar signs. We'll be her guardians, overseer, and anything done legally through monies, we will be the proprietor of the funds. Checkmate. End of story. So hell yeah, they were in their feelings when she said she wanted to move out, go move in with friends. Why? Why do you want to go? What's the matter? You're not happy here? Hell no, I want to be free. I'm grown, remember? I'm a little person, but I'm an adult. And she's not the first person to be a little adult that lived on their own. Probably difficult at times because, they can't see the drive. They can't reach cabinet doors, open front doors very well. But the point is they want to be free. They want to have freedom like normal adults, and they are entitled to that. And due to the fact that we learned that she was an adult, she had every right to be on her own, naturally with some assistance, but the right assistance. Genuine assistance, not somebody trying to grift off her handicap and any money coming in from docuseries. The Mans are no different than the Barnetts and the other woman who adopted her up on the East Coast. All of them are vile. And sadly, this girl came into contact with people who really didn't want her, that when the tough got going, they bailed out. And that's what I think was the problem with Natalia. When it got too rough, when it became too much to bear with her disability and having to pay out money to get things repaired as far as her feet, legs, ankles, motherfuckers bailed out. That's what I think. And she probably grew to have a nasty attitude and disposition because she saw and witnessed how she was being treated. And naturally, when you are mistreated, that will change your disposition. You will be bitter. You will become vindictive. You will start doing asinine shit. You will start talking out of turn. You will have moments of rage. So that don't shock me none. That's the reason why many of us act the way we act. Childhood trauma. Not being treated well, not being valued, not being validated. I don't see it being any different with Natalia. So you entitled to think she came here mean, she came here vindictive, she was a victim of her circumstances, which may have led her to act out. But she's free of that now. So we will see how she acts now with her other friends. Will they have a story to spin? She's vindictive, she's this, she's that. Frankly, the little girl needs to be careful of anybody she deals with. Well, young woman. I wouldn't trust anybody at this point because now she's on round 4. And if you can be used by all these other people, you can just as easily be used by these other people you're staying with. And she needs to be very careful because she is a little person. Anything could happen to her and nobody would even know where she is. And I'm just keeping it real, just from my years up here talking about true crime. She's glutton for punishment because she's already been down this road with people who did not mean her well. And then you have to factor in she's a small person, easily concealed to do devious things, if you get my drift. And any type of money she's getting from the government, food stamps, anything, it could be a worst case scenario and somebody could be assuming her identity and nobody would know anything. And I'm not trying to be rude or nasty, but I keep it real. Because I brought you content on this the other day of a woman who was arrested out of Georgia for taking over her friend's identity, and that girl went missing years ago and nobody ever knew what happened to her, and now they know what happened to her. Found dead in Atlanta, burnt up, thrown out like trash, and now this woman has been accused of stealing her identity, and 9 times out of 10 she's the one that unalived her, or she definitely knows who did. But the point is she's gained something by taking her identity, so I'm going to say more than likely she's the one that killed her. So in this case here of a young person, little person walking around who's been hoodwinked and bamboozled by all these different families, I think they were just getting something out of it for clout, attention. She needs to be very careful of the company she keeps, because it'll be sad if we find out that something has happened to her because once again, she's got in the wrong household and she's depending on people to do right by her. As I said, there is no loyalty out here in the street. There never has been. And I think many of you who have lived, especially lived as long as Queen, you know you can't trust everybody. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody is not a good family member. Their intent is not genuine. And frankly, she's right for the taking, just because she is a little person. And people know that she can draw income from her story. It's common sense. That's my commentary. 2-part live. Suge Knight is giving commentary to CUOMO pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. I brought you detailed information in the YouTube queue, in shorts, polls. I'm also on the Newsbreak app. Feel free to follow me over there and follow me and get notifications when I have posts, videos, and also when I comment on certain articles. I've got some more content I'm trying to upload over there. It takes so much time to upload over there. For some reason, my phone just does not act right with that Newsbreak app. But anyway, I've got one video that should be uploaded pertaining to Sean Combs and this debacle with Miss Graves, alleging that he sexually assaulted her in 2001 alongside his bodyguard. Now, the bodyguard has denied the allegations of the assault against Miss Graves. So let me read that right quick, and then I'll put a short up pertaining to that update as well. Thank you for joining me. Let's see what the bodyguard has to say. Oh boy, what a mess. Also, right now, the Young Dolph trial is transpiring down in Memphis, Tennessee. The state is alleging that Yo Gotti's brother put a hit out on Young Dolph. Wow, what a mess. T.I. and Tiny have secured a $71 million victory in a trademark lawsuit against a toy maker, claiming that they made dolls in the image of their girl group. Well. Once again, check out my shorts in the YouTube queue pertaining to Puff Daddy and Natalia. Now, let's get down to business pertaining to the ex-bodyguard. I will put up a short pertaining to him after this live stream. Sean Diddy Combs' ex-bodyguard has broken his silence after a bombshell lawsuit accused him and his former employer of rape at a recording studio. So allegedly, this was what they're saying, that he was the type to also assault people on the job. Joseph Sherman, known as Big Joe, posted a statement slamming the accusations as false and baseless and denying that he ever met his accuser. On Tuesday, Thalia Graves alleged that Combs and Sherman essayed her at a New York studio owned by Bad Boy Records and that the attack was filmed. The lawsuit also claimed Combs and his bodyguard threatened to ruin the victim's life if she spoke out. In the documents, Graves claims that when she was 25 and dating one of Combs' employees, she was lured to New York by Combs, where she was drugged before the music mogul and his bodyguard essayed her. Graves said that she woke up bound and restrained to Combs and Sherman, essaying her anally and vaginally. Wow, how's that possible? So that means she'd have to be in the middle, sleep on something, for one to be in one and one in the other. This is crazy. She alleged that they shared a video of the assault and even sold it. Wow. Sherman has not been arrested or officially charged with any crimes. In a press conference alongside her attorney, Gloria Allred, I don't know why I was calling her Julia for some reason, excuse me. Graves said she had considered taking her own life in the wake of the alleged assault in 2001 and said that she had only learned that a video of that reported crime existed last year. So that's what everybody needs to remember. Somebody had to have found her to tell her that the tape existed. So that means somebody had to have seen it. Stay woke now. Now, he's denying the claim, but obviously there's a tape. So if you can be seen on the tape, then how are you not involved, sir? Mr. Joe. Following the release of the lawsuit on Tuesday that named Sherman, the former head of security for Combs initially made his Instagram account, which has more than 20,000 followers, private. But on Wednesday, he made it public again to post a statement keeping comments turned off. He posted it with a caption with a quote wrongly credited as Psalm 91. Oh, here we go, quote scriptures. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Well, we'll see about that. The verse is Isaiah 54:17, which in New King James Version reads, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. In his statement, he claimed Combs didn't employ him at the time of the alleged incident and said he had never had any interaction with his accuser. Mr. Sherman's legal team is already preparing a defamation lawsuit to hold accountable those responsible for spreading this damaging misinformation, the statement continued. Pictures shared on Sherman's Instagram show him partying with stars in the 1990s, including Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, Bruce Willis, Joseph Sherman, Diddy's former bodyguard. Full response to the latest lawsuit. Joseph Sherman, a respected figure in the entertainment industry and former celebrity bodyguard, vehemently denies the false and baseless accusations made against him in connection with Sean Diddy Combs and an alleged incident in 2001. These claims are completely untrue, and Mr. Sherman is committed to clearing his name and protecting his reputation. At the time of the alleged incident, Mr. Sherman was not employed by Sean Combs and has never had any interaction with the accuser. Throughout his career, Mr. Sherman has upheld a reputation of professionalism and integrity, and he refuses to be associated with this fabricated story or this clear attempt at a money grab. Sherman's comments on the lawsuit he's named in. These accusations are not only false, but damaging to my character. I've never met the accuser, and I was not working with Sean Combs during the time in question. I will be pursuing legal action to address this defamation and protect my name. Statement from Sherman's attorney: we stand by Mr. Sherman's innocence and are taking swift legal action to address this fraudulent claim. This false accusation is clearly an attempt to exploit the current situation involving Mr. Combs. We are pursuing a defamation lawsuit against all parties involved in these allegations and will ensure that Mr. Sherman's rights are fully protected under the law. Videos also show him partying on a boat with semi-naked women, including some of them with money tucked into their bikinis. He can be seen hurling notes in the air at one point while getting a lap dance from a woman in a black bikini. Once again, Sean Combs was arrested last week at a Manhattan hotel on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If found guilty, he faces a minimum of 15 years in prison. Graves is the 11th person to publicly accuse Diddy of sexual assault. If you or someone you know is affected by any of the issues raised in this story, call RAINN, RAINN, capital letters, for Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, 1-800 1-800-656-HOPE-4673. Once again, 1-800-656-4673. So Mr. Sherman is denying that he ever met this woman, and nor was he working for Sean Combs at the time. And they've been showing these pictures lately of this black girl in a bikini, and I think she was hair wet at one point, popping champagne bottles with all white on. I think she had on all white, not mistaken. I'll stand corrected, but I've got it in my short. Hair wet, and that's possibly a P. Diddy party. So she knows P. Diddy too. The girl that's in the picture with him while she's sitting on his lap in Mr. Joe's lap on a boat. Did they sexually assault Miss Graves? Number one. In the video, can you identify Sean Combs and Mr. Sherman as the perpetrators in the video? Can they be fully identified in the videos? Are there other videos with Sean Combs and Mr. Sherman sexually assaulting any other victims? Or is this Sean in the video with somebody else and they think it's Mr. Sherman? What's the truth? I don't know. We will see what happens when it goes to court. He has a court appearance or hearing in October. We will see what happens. Will he take a plea? I think he should take a plea because he knows they have confiscated his devices and video. And once you know that somebody's got videos of you doing certain things that's also illegal, dealing with narcotics, you might as well just take a plea. Why have these people business out on Front Street? Because they're going to have to find these people, try to notify them, and this is embarrassing for them. The people who are in these sexcapades with you or paid prostitutes, it's embarrassing. Now, naturally, they're grown, they did what they wanted to do, but I don't think they knew they were going to be taped either or have the tapes sold. So now you got to ask that question. Of all the tapes confiscated by the government, how many of these tapes have been sold underground or on the dark web or to other people by Sean Puffy Combs? See, you can go down for a while just from the AR-15s being defaced, the drugs in the house, also the drugs found at the hotel that you were arrested in last week, and then taping people without their consent, that's a crime. Also, manufacturing of pornography without the consent of others, that's a crime. So we're probably talking about more than just 15 years. Because that's not including the racketeering, sex trafficking, and the transport of prostitution. Those are all separate charges, separate counts. 3 counts, the main 3 counts. Like I said, that's not even counting weapons, drugs confiscated last week, manufacturing of pornography. Those are added charges, and those probably will be added. So 15 years is not even getting started, depending on how many counts they want to bring forward. He's dirty. He's foul. And as somebody said, more than likely there's another Puff Daddy running around. Because there is. He just hasn't been caught. There's another bodyguard, there's another assistant, as we've seen with all these other cases pertaining to Epstein, Weinstein, Mr. Cosby, R. Kelly, other wealthy people who have aided in drugging women, sexually assaulting women, children, child pornography, pornography of others, filming people without their knowledge. You have a lot of dirty birds out here. That's why you need to be very careful the company you keep, going into people's homes, because you don't know where a private camera could be, where somebody's sitting here filming you, having sex with them, and then selling it and sharing it with other people. You just have a lot of dirty ass men out here, and they don't have respect for themselves because they can't respect a woman, quite frankly. And then now with all this underground shit of him being a homosexual, it's just adding fuel to the fire. He's nasty. And like I said, somebody needs to be going to the doctor and getting their private parts checked, because I won't doubt that Sean probably is a carrier of something, and he has passed diseases with many women and men. And I won't doubt that one of these people in this group, an entourage of people having sex, they have HIV or full-blown AIDS. And it's only a matter of time. That's going to be the next lawsuit to add on that somebody has come up short. Somebody has come up short dealing with Sean Puffy Combs and these prostitutes and Cassie Ventura. Because all it takes is for one person to finally just come forward and say, yeah, I got the disease. And then they're going to loop Sean Combs in it. And then they're going to demand that he gets tested, get a blood drawn. This is a hot butter mess. But it is what it is. Because this is the life he wanted. This is the life he invented. And it doesn't matter if he was sexually assaulted as a child, a teenager, a young adult, groomed by executives, groomed by other men in the business. It was a choice to go out here and hurt these other people. That's on Sean. That's on him. He's an adult. He knows better. And if he felt like he was falling by the wayside with his mental thoughts, he should have went and saw a psychiatrist and got him some damn help. He has no remorse for what he has done. And that's obvious. Because anybody that goes to New York, knowing they're about to be indicted, arrested, and has drugs in their possession, shows you they don't care anything about themselves. Because there's no way I'm going to have drugs in my hotel knowing I'm going to be arrested. That was the whole purpose of him moving back to New York. Because he knew there was an indictment. He knew he was going to be arrested. The reason why he put his house up for sale. And yet you would go get high. Why? So now we're talking about an addict. He's an addict. So that'll be the next excuse. He needs drug treatment. That's what's wrong with him. That's why he's abusing people, filming people, raping people. He's an addict. Get the hell out of here. No, you've been a sadist that became an addict. Checkmate. There's a difference. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below. Take the post. Check out my shorts. Follow me on the Newsbreak app under the same name, The Vault XL. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie. 129 Cash App. Sean Puffy Combs, currently in the Brooklyn, New York federal holding. MDC, new accusation, 11th victim. Thalia Graves claims she was sexually assaulted by him and his bodyguard, Mr. Joe Sherman, in 2001 at a recording studio owned by Bad Boy Entertainment. Second part of this live is pertaining to Natalia Grace. What is the situation between she and the MANS? Where is she now? Is she safe? Is she in a better place? And what's the truth to the allegations against her by all these adoptive families? Did the MANS adopt her to grift off of her name? That's my content. Thank you.